What's up YouTube? Dreamkiller coming at you in another video, and I am with my good friend Herco.
Yep, or Mr. King of Jacks.
And welcome to the first video of 2019. Happy late New Year's. Hope you all had great holidays, great New Year's. Hope you all are making good with your resolutions. I doubt it, but whatever. But yeah, I took a long vacation for the holidays and I feel very refreshed. And so, what a good way to start off the first video of the new year with a review of the most highly anticipated, not just a Dragon Ball movie, but just overall the most hyped anime movie to come out in a long time, and that is Dragon Ball Super Broly, the movie.
Yep, and it's considered to be canon this time.
Yeah, this time.
Which means, for Clarence references, right? Canon is something that actually happens in the storyline and isn't filler. So in this case, Broly's movie actually happens to be canon.
Yep, and yeah, because this movie takes place within the chronology of Dragon Ball this Dragon Ball Super anime. But before we get into that, spoilers. We saw this movie last night, and as of currently, right now, it is Thursday. It's playing today, it's playing Friday and Saturday. So you have those opportunities to see the movie, and it's very limited. Get tickets as soon as possible because the seats are full. Like, we went to the theater day one, and the theater was packed.
Yep, we were there first, and not even 10 minutes later was it packed.
Yeah, so if you want to avoid spoilers, go see this movie, but just keep in mind it's limited viewing, so you have until Saturday to see the movie. So I highly recommend, stopping this video if you don't want to be spoiled, and come back to see the movie, and then come back and watch this review. So yeah, if you stuck around, you pretty much already saw the movie. So we already stated, yeah, this movie is within canon of the current anime that's going on, and for the longest time, Broly was never canon. The movies were never counted as canon because Akira Toriyama never had anything to do with the movies. And so it was this time and now that he is in canon, and everyone was so happy about that. And there's also another character that's in canon that we will also talk about later. Okay, so where do you want to start off as far as talking about the movie?
Well, alright. Well, I guess as part of the movie, in the original Dragon Ball Z Broly movie, you have where Paragus, Broly's father, was actually traveling and was exiled to a planet where life wasn't all that intelligent, but had the means and necessity to try and travel throughout the years. And Broly's really this power mad, Saiyan that just wants a good fight and doesn't care how he gets it. In this movie, however, it's a different storyline. It's more of a King Vegeta the Third, to be exact.
The fourth,
Vegeta,
Vegeta
the Fourth.
Our Vegeta was the fourth.
Right, the Super Saiyan God that hadn't been reached in God knows how long.
Oh my God, we need to talk about that afterwards. Because God, that was this.
Yeah, and in this storyline, instead of actually having him being able to do all of that, he was King Vegeta the Third. Actually had Paragus' son exiled to a morbid planet, which would have been like, what, a moon, right? It was a moon. And it was desolate with no intelligent life, just, bugs and whatnot. But, I mean, sent there to live there for a long time, for two reasons mainly. First was because, the most important, was because he was jealous that someone had surpassed his son in terms of power level and amount.
And I just like to point out too, like in the original Broly movie, I don't think it was ever like originally he tried to kill Broly, but it was never explained why he wanted to do that. But we have actually, like he said, in this movie he exiled him out of jealousy over the fact that he was way powerful than his son.
Right, and not only that, the second reasoning behind it that was given that wasn't exactly explained before but made pretty clear as to why Broly reacts the way he does is because his power level is so great that that amount of power eventually causes a Saiyan to lose control and go insane, believe it or not, which explains a lot from the previous Broly movie. And is the other reasoning that King Vegeta gives to Paragus, Broly's father's, reason.
Yeah. And also, while this is happening, we get way more of origin of the Saiyans, like how their race, is under the boot heel of Frieza's father, and then actually Frieza, when his father starts having Frieza take command of the Saiyans, and we get to see, they're not exactly happy about this, and even towards it, Bardock's starting to realize that, Frieza is starting to realize that at any time that they can turn against him, and he fears that, and Bardock kind of senses that he's trying to destroy all of them as they have the scene where they have all the Saiyans gather back on the planet, and the famous scene where Frieza just destroys planet Vegeta, and makes it up to be it was just a meteor that destroyed it, where it was actually him that destroyed it.
Right, because there were other Saiyans that did survive. In this case, too, we also get to see Vegeta and Raditz as puny, tiny little kids.
Oh my god, they were so fucking cute.
It was funny. Yeah, it was more like...
like, Vegeta didn't care that the planet got destroyed. Raditz didn't care.
Yeah, and in this case, too, it was also shown that Vegeta has a brother that we all find out later, which is Cabbage, which originally wasn't canon,
no.
And is now canon, actually.
Yeah, because I remember in Battle of the Gods they referenced him, because when they were trying to bring up the Super Saiyan God, and then Bulma was like, "Don't you have a brother?" He's like, "Yeah, don't talk to him."
Yeah, Cabbage. But Cabbage in this instance was part of a movie that really wasn't part of the storyline. It was like an alternate. But I guess now they kind of made that as part of the storyline. So it was pretty cool. But Vegeta's just pretty much like, he's a weakling anyways. What do I care where he's at,
So fast forward to present day, we have this movie takes place like days after the Tournament of Powers, and that's I was a little bit hesitant to see this movie first because I'm not caught up with Super, but they only referenced the Tournament of Power and what the outcome was, like, briefly, but that's all the knowledge you need to know, really. And I already knew what was happening because I had the Tournament of Power spoiled for me, but I still need to catch up with Super. But yeah, this movie takes place, like, just literally days after the Tournament of Power, and so Goku and Vegeta are being Goku and Vegeta trying to, increase their power. And then we go into space, and these two guys, this female and this old alien, are part of the Frieza Force, scouting for potential people to join the Frieza Force, and that's when they discover Paragus and Broly.
Right, they come across an old signal, distress signal used by the Frieza Force, very old, from when Paragus and Broly was still a baby, and Paragus went to try and save his son. They ended up being stranded because what happens is that Paragus steals a ship, tries to save his son, the ship gets damaged, and unfortunately revenge is all that's on his mind afterwards, and so therefore manipulates his son to the point where Broly loves his dad, but at the same time he does everything he's told because that's how he's raised, which, for future reference, is why he reacts the way he does in the movie.
Yeah, and going back to Broly's mindset, compared to the original Broly movie, in the original Broly movie, he was just a straight up monster, and he even said that he said he's not a monster, he was the devil.
Yeah, he was more power crazed than anything.
And he was clearly evil.
Yeah, but in this one, they gave him a personality, which is something they didn't do in the past.
He's like a shy, timid type of kid.
He's not shy. What happens is that he doesn't know how to interact with other people very well because the only person he's ever interacted with his whole life is his father. And so when others come in, you get to see the interaction.
It almost kind of reminds me in the original Dragon Ball in the first episodes when you meet Goku, and when Bulma meets Goku, and he's not used to civilization. Like Bulma was like the first civilized person he ever met outside of his grandpa. So I felt like that was kind of like referencing Dragon Ball almost.
Yeah, but there's a difference, big difference between what Goku and Broly did. Broly was taught, you know, to fight and survive, and Goku was more like taught how to survive, but at the same time how to enjoy life, which Broly never got to experience.
Yeah. So anyway, Paragus and Broly brought the Frieza, and they explained their story. And Frieza's just more than willing to help exact their revenge because, of course, Frieza wants Goku and Vegeta gone. Even though, yeah, like in Super, the German Power, Frieza helped them out, even though he only did it to save his skin. He didn't want the universe to be blown up. But at the end of the day, he still wants to take down Goku and Vegeta. And also, there's like a sub-story, they're gathering the Dragon Balls.
Yeah, like, and it's funny too because...
We gotta have our laughs.
Yeah, first off, it's... The Dragon Balls get stolen from Bulma, and Bulma was pretty much gathering it to try, you know, make a wish, and Frieza the same thing. It just happened to be funny.
Yeah, it's like Bulma wanted to be 5 years younger, and they're like, why don't you just go for 10? And they're like, people would notice. And then we got cut to Frieza. He wants to be taller, and he wants to be like 4 centimeters.
He wants to be 5 centimeters taller.
And he's like, why don't you do 10? And he's like, it'll be noticeable. And
yeah, it'll be too noticeable. He doesn't want it to be like.
We got two.
You know, he just wished for it.
We have two characters that want two different things, but almost sound exactly the same. It was just fucking hilarious. Yeah. Especially coming from Frieza, because Frieza originally wanted the Dragon Balls to be immortal, and now he wants them for the most selfish of reasons I've ever heard in my life. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they get the Dragon Balls and they take Broly and Paragus down to Earth to fight Goku, Vegeta, and we have the be-all, end-all of fights. And let me just say this outright: the visuals are astounding in this movie. Like, I thought it would be so hard to top Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F, especially Resurrection F. Resurrection F was on top of its animation, but this movie's animation and visuals were just so breathtaking.
Yeah, it was really more of a scene this time where Vegeta was the target and ended up fighting Broly to begin with, and we've all seen Vegeta hit Super Saiyan Blue, but never actually seen him just reach God mode.
He never reached God mode. Again, that's what pissed him off. Why he was so pissed off at Goku. But I don't know if they explained it in the show or not. How
they
he
did.
Reached.
They did. There's a point where
don't tell me. I don't want to know.
Well, it's in the beginning actually, where Whis training with Goku. All of a sudden Vegeta can hit Super Saiyan Blue, no problem, right?
Right.
But nobody understood if he just skipped Super Saiyan God mode. That was a speculation. But in this movie, they put all of that to rest by showing that he can hit Super Saiyan God mode and Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan mode. And it's kind of funny because they transcend into it, and it's one smooth motion where all of a sudden he goes from being a Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan God, and you see him turn red, which not even in the previews did they show you.
And of course, everyone cheered. My voice was cracked from cheering so loudly. Vegeta had so many good moments, and I was more because I'm a huge Vegeta fan.
Yeah, so am I.
And having Vegeta have those moments was just great. And going back to Broly targeting Vegeta, that's actually a good point to bring up too. Is in the original Broly movie, Broly's motivation, and this is what people make fun of so often with the original Broly movie, is the reason that his power existed, what his motivations were, is that Goku and Broly happened to be in the same maternity ward, and Goku cried a lot, and it upset Broly to the point where, towards his adulthood, Pegasus utters his Saiyan name, Kakarot, and that triggers Broly into becoming the legendary Super Saiyan. And he goes after Goku, even though it makes no sense because he should have gone after Vegeta because of his father. This movie addresses that in the best way possible by giving us what we wanted, having him go after Vegeta, exacting his revenge, or instead going after Goku because he hated him crying.
Yeah, in this case, it wasn't anything to do with any kind of personal vendetta, and Broly was given a personality. They even show a soft side of him of what he considered as a beast to be his friend until his father cuts that relationship. And then later shows that he is able to understand and follow commands. However, when he begins to fight and his father can't control him with the same neck collar that's in the original Broly actually, that electrocutes him to try and control his power, in this instance, Paragus ends up losing that control, and
Next to some side characters.
right, and ends up having Broly fight Goku, and slowly Broly begins to feel overwhelmed, and as he feels overwhelmed, he learns. Fighting in his base form, he is able to overpower Super Saiyan God.
Yeah. And it wasn't until Frieza comes up with the brilliant idea, because of what he learned through Goku, to trigger Broly's full legendary Super Saiyan powers.
Right, and what better way than to replay what happened in the past with Goku and Krillin?
By shooting Paragus and killing him in order to trigger Broly, and it works. And we get like one of the most what the fuck funny scenes with that. Just like
He gets up and he's like, oh no! Broly, look, your father's been killed by a stray energy beam. It's so tragic. And you
it's
just
so
can't help but laugh.
ridiculous.
You can't
Everyone laughed at that. It's pure Frieza at his most asshole level.
But it brings a point that Goku had to go through, and that Vegeta made Cabbage go through without the physical loss. Only Broly went through this physical loss of his father and went into a complete rage mode. And that's when he turns Super Saiyan and actually begins to overwhelm both Vegeta and Goku in Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan mode.
And so let's get down to the conclusion of this fight. So yeah, they're overwhelmed, they don't know what to do, but then Goku decides to just teleport to where Piccolo has like a cameo in this movie.
But wait, before he manages to teleport, as Vegeta and Goku are fighting Broly, they're running away.
They sick him off Frieza.
And they sick him on Frieza.
And we get like...
have fun, Frieza! Frieza takes an ass beating.
We get a Frieza beat down as they're teleported to Piccolo, and they come up with the idea to do the fusion dance. And the fusion dance doesn't work the first 2 times, so we get an hour of Frieza being beaten the shit out of. But finally, the fusion works, and we finally get the story canon introduction
to
of Gogeta. And holy hell was it again, everyone's cheering. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs in happiness. It was just a spectacle to behold. I can't talk right now.
Yeah, it was everybody went nuts, and
everyone went nuts.
He was able to fight him off in his base form, as Broly was Super Saiyan already, because this was after he fucking lost it.
And then, at some point, I don't know how it happened, they transport into a, like, alternate dimension thing.
No, so here's what it is it's not an alternate dimension. It actually happens to be what you see with Hit, the assassin from Super Saiyan, from Dragon Ball Super. So really what it is a time skip. So what happens while Broly is fighting in the Super Saiyan mode and Gogeta is fighting together, when he reaches Super Saiyan Blue mode, their power levels are so strong that it actually caused them the time skip for a few seconds for what would be in the normal world, but what's like a good 2-3 minute fight with them, and how they end up like almost alternating the universe around them, and it just becomes whoa! Like,
and it's like at this point, you know, Gogeta's at Super Saiyan Blue. They're fighting in this time skipped area, and finally they teleport into the desert area, and finally it just supposedly it's supposed to end in a big Kamehameha,
which is everybody's favorite finisher.
Everything looks for it.
That's how Cell got destroyed.
But then we get a surprise twist as the side characters, whose names I can't forget. I forget. I'm sorry.
So the 2 side characters are the same ones that discover Paragus and Broly to begin with, and
so they
end up saving his life.
Yeah, they snag the Dragon Ball, swish Broly back onto the planet where they found him so he can be calmed down and return back to a normal state. And that's the end of the fight. And we get an end scene where Goku teleports to the planet, gives them some, because they're rogues at this point, the two Frieza Force guys. They go with Broly, but they need supplies. Goku gives them supplies via Bulma, and tells Broly, you know, I want to keep fighting with you to get stronger. Making a hint, and we're gonna see Broly more, possibly in another season.
Well, not just fight him too. He even offered to train Broly in the areas in which he could not control, which means that Broly has the ability to be able to use his ape-like abilities by maintaining his Saiyan form, which is exactly what Goku and Vegeta do, which is how they managed to get this Super Saiyan mode to begin with. And another reason why they don't have their tails, not to mention Broly had his tail cut off. So even staring at the moon, Broly cannot transform into the ape without his tail. And same thing for Goku and Vegeta, which we've seen in Dragon Ball GT, even though it was fan-made and not really canon.
No, it was actually made by Toei. It just wasn't considered canon because Akira Toriyama had nothing to do with it.
Regardless, it was still... The point was made that without the tail, they cannot transform into the ape. And in this instance, Broly cannot transform into the ape, which is another reason why he becomes extremely powerful in his base form, which is really cool. But Goku offering to train even him in things he doesn't even know, like the teleportation technique, for example.
Yeah. So, yeah, so we're pretty much being hinted that we're going to see more Broly, possibly either in another movie or maybe in another season of Super, which has been announced is being made currently.
Yeah, they've already announced that they're going to make at least 3 more seasons, so it might be 2 or 3 more years of Dragon Ball Super, and then after that is
and of course, also too, we're going to see more Frieza, because Frieza's not dead.
Yeah, Frieza's brought back to life and stuff, conquering other planets, you know. But,
yeah,
you know,
so, and that's the end of the movie. Overall, this was a great movie. I have only one complaint, but it's just minor, and it's only because of how I feel towards Goku in the show. Goku's a fucking moron.
Okay, so Goku has never been the smartest character ever, and he has pulled a lot of stupid stunts to get a lot of good fights. In the past, had been in self-defense.
But God, they make him stupid both in the show, in Super, and in this movie.
Well, yeah, because they show more of a naivety side to him, but which is kind of funny at the same time because of his Saiyan blood.
It is, but at the same time, you want face palm sometimes when Goku does something stupid.
Yeah, even Vegeta calls him an idiot.
They call him an idiot a lot in this movie.
They insult him.
I think Akira Toriyama already knows we already think of what we think of Goku. He's pretty much an idiot, and he embraces that fact. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, hit this thumbs up button because my channel grows because of it, and subscribe because, as always, I have many more videos to come like this. I'd like to thank my friend Herco for being a part of this review.
Hey, Mr. King of Jacks. Appreciate it.
Alright, thank you all for watching. I'm Dreamkiller. Nerds keep on rocking.